You might be wondering if we can actually automate these crushers. So the next demon I want to show you is the transporter. Using a minecart, dispenser, chest, and hopper, we can summon one. Again, a book of binding, folio. I don't believe there is... I think it's just the folio. No, I think there's a genie one as well. Let me look. Go to Pentacles. And Offix is Calling, which is the genie one. No, I think it is just the folio transporter. Weird. Okay, so put all those down, put in the folio, and it will summon a folio transporter for you. So what are these going to do? Well, they can take from one chest and put it into another. What this can actually do, though, is take your ores from a chest and put it into your folio crusher. Now, as you can see, it's now been summoned, and in my inventory, I've been given a book of calling, folio transporter. You will automatically get that book. If you lose it, you can simply use your book of binding, folio, with a chest, and you'll get a new one. Now, if you want to see that in the book, if you can see in here, folio transporter, you can see in these AVR circles, same as the crusher. These are the items, but it also shows you down here the golden sacrificial bowl will get the book of calling, folio transporter, meaning that's what you're going to get after the ritual. So what I'm going to do is get a chest, place it down, and I'm going to put my iron ore in there. What I'm then going to do is shift right click on my transporter demon, and I can say whitelist or blacklist. By default, it's on whitelist, meaning I can click my iron ore and put it in there, and it will only take iron ore. We can also do tags like forge, ores, etc. And this is its inventory here. What I'm then going to do is take that book of calling and shift right click from this chest. It will now extract the chest from the side west. So it will do sides because it can do machines if you need it to. Now that we've designated obviously where it's going from, we then look at the ground and right click with our book of calling and press set deposit. Press the X and shift right click where you want it to give them to. And there you go. As you can see, it's taking items from the chest, all of them I think, because it can take a lot at a time, and it's then putting it into the inventory. Now I've been AFK for like an hour or two watching TV and stuffing my face between making this tutorial, and it's only decayed by 10%, so it is a really slow decay rate. These demons will last longer than I initially thought, even though they will eventually disappear. That's the folio tier 1 ones after all. Now as you can see here, the items are then still going to be dropped on the ground by your folio crusher. And the transporter can only take from inventory to inventory. That's when we then want the folio janitor. So what the transporter does, the janitor will do, is it will pick up dropped items and deposit them into an inventory. You can configure an allow block list. So to make the janitor, we're going to need a chest, a chalk brush, a hopper, and a dispenser. And again, because it's a folio, we can use this same ritual here. And then we're just going to need a janitor, not a book of calling. Sorry, a folio, isn't it? Oh my God. There we go, just a folio book. And there it goes, the janitor is coming. And we should get a book of calling for it as well, because obviously we need to be able to designate the chests, etc. that we're putting into. Ta-da! Here's your little janitor. We can shift right click on him with the book of calling. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention this. You can shift right click with the book of calling to pick them up. So I can then right click and plop him down here. The same with the book of calling for the transporter. If I shift right click with an empty hand, again I can whitelist it. And I'm going to whitelist iron dust. So my folio crusher is crushing up the iron ore, doubling it into iron dust. The janitor is then going to pick up the iron dust. I then shift right click with the book of calling. Wait, Ezevrin, is that the right one? Oh God, I've made a right old mess. Sorry, my book of calling for my janitor, I'm going to shift right click for the chest, and he's now going to put, in fact, right click it on the floor, and you could set base location or set deposit. So I'm going to say set deposit from here. If I then set base location, I can shift right click here to say, that's where I want you to stand, and that's your base location, so that when the crusher drops the dust, he's nearby. He'll probably do it in this whole area, but, you know, you want him nearby, right? So what we've done is we've automated the whole process. What you could also do is actually get a furnace, place it down, coal, and then I can say set deposit, shift right click on the furnace. So what is happening here is he's going to place it into the furnace. Now I do think you need to put it into the top of the furnace, so shift right click the top of the furnace, and the janitor will import it into there. What you could then do is get another transporter and put the extract as the furnace and whitelist iron ingots, or all ingots, meaning that when the ingots are cooked, the transporter will take the ingots out and then put them into, say, this chest, for example, wherever you want them. And you've automated a whole ore processing process. And remember, the future or later ones can even do up to 6 times processing. So just go over that process again. We are going to put our raw ore in this chest and get a transporter. Shift right clicking on it with the folio transporter with set extract to take items from the chest that you've shift right clicked on him and whitelisted. And then we right click again, press set deposit, and shift right click it onto our crusher demon. Then we have a janitor who will pick up the items that the crusher drops and take them to the furnace. The furnace obviously cooks them up, you know, or doubling or tripling, etc., depending on which one you're using. And then you can have another transporter set to extract from the furnace and depositing into a chest where you have your final ingots. And you've automated the whole process. So that is janitor and transporter folios.